What would you do as a UK government if you were serious at the time of signing the Northern Ireland Protocol? My name's Mike Cashman. If you find the video interesting or useful, please subscribe to the channel. What would you do if you were serious as a UK government about setting up the Northern Ireland Protocol? Now, I'm making this video in August 2021, but this is not hindsight. I wrote all this down in December 2019 in a letter to The Guardian, and a longer version of that letter to my MP, which went to the Department for Exiting the European Union, who replied to say they understood everything that I'd pointed out and had it all in hand, but they didn't. What would you do if you were serious about it? So you've set up a rather complex agreement with the EU, and that is going to mean some changes to the way that trade has been done, clearly. It's not going to be something that has no impact at all. You should have done a better impact assessment and consultation before you agreed it, but never mind that for now. You have agreed to it. You've claimed to have an oven-ready deal on the back of it, and you've won a general election, and so now planning to exit the EU January 2020, you have 2020 in order to implement it. How would you go about that? One thing that the Cabinet in general doesn't seem to understand, probably because there's very little business experience there, and I don't count being fireplace salesman of the year or selling get-rich-quick schemes on the internet as serious business in a significant organisation. One thing that they don't appreciate is it's not simply a matter just of passing legislation. You know, if you're a government with an 80-seat majority, you can pass any nonsensical legislation, it seems, as we've seen. But that doesn't mean that things change in the way that you want. Because if people are doing business, then when you change the rules, they may not choose to do that business anymore. I pointed this out originally. By the way, an awful lot of this applies to trade across the Channel as well, but I'm just focusing on the Northern Ireland Protocol, which is what I wrote about. So what you would do, if you're serious about it, is to say, here are our policy objectives. Let's make some proposals, perhaps, put them out to the relevant businesses for consultation. That takes a while, at least 3 months normally. Because businesses have to consult themselves, have to do their own impact assessments before they can sensibly respond. Take account of that feedback. You may need further iterations of that until you can come up with proposals that meet your policy objectives, but that the businesses that have to work with them have said, yeah, we could make it work that way. When you've done that, you can start to turn it into some planned legislation. One of the things that will need to be done is to work out the impact of that, how our business process is going to change. You will need to set up probably new systems, and you'll also have to explain to businesses what they will have to do. So to put out now some information that says, okay, we did consult you before. This is the way that it's going to work. This is, if your systems are going to interact with our systems, these are the things that you're going to have to design in there in order that they work effectively. Allow some time for people to understand that, ask questions, have some training, develop the necessary systems. That could easily take 2 years if you do that properly. And the Tory government said, no, we don't need to do that. We can skip a load of those steps. Well, they didn't actually say that, but they did actually skip a load of those steps. The consultation was minimal. Lots of people who desperately wanted to understand the implications of the new rules attempted to get through to the relevant government department and didn't find anybody who could answer their questions. So it was lamentably inadequate consultation. The whole thing was rammed through, and as we know, the actual arrangements, the actual proposed legislation was only known on 24th of December 2020. I think I worked out somewhere that that being some 5 years since the referendum, or 4 and a bit years. This was something like, I can't remember the exact number, but 229 weeks of working out what to do and business given a week in order to implement. And so, of course, that supposed 11 months in which, we've got time to do everything, that was a nonsense, and a completely inadequate job was done in that time, which is why I'm speaking in August 2021, which is why 8 months later, the arrangements are still not finalised. I made a prediction in the letter in the Guardian, December 2019. I said, based on experience of implementing similar systems, there is not a snowball's chance in hell of doing this effectively in 2020 or 2021. And the evidence of our eyes is that that's the case. Now, as it happens, yes, I do think the EU may be being over-rigorous in some aspects, but there has been no trust engendered by the UK Tory government, which has shown that things it's agreed, negotiated and signed, that it's then prepared to simply ignore them. So, yes, there does need to be some better cooperation, but it could start with a commitment to honour what it's written, what it's written and signed on the UK side. So, what would you do if you were serious about implementing it? You would set a longer time scale for one thing. So I don't believe Dominic Cummings on everything, as I've said, but when he said the EU and the UK wanted to get something written down in October 2019, but basically to kick the problem down the road, as I've said separately, I don't believe that was true of the EU, but I do believe that he was telling us the truth there about the UK government and about Boris Johnson. Bad faith, trashing our reputation, doing damage internationally. It's a dreadful thing that the Tories are doing to the UK at the moment, and the sooner we can get them out, the better, is my view. But what's yours? Please add your comments in the video on the YouTube channel. Thank you.